Alright guys, welcome to another video, and today we're here to actually do an Apple Vision Pro video. You can see I am using an application right now to record myself and my persona, which I think is always a great way to introduce the Apple Vision Pro. Obviously the persona is a big deal to them. It just got updated on Vision 2.0, so I look even more realistic than I did before, and it obviously captured, my hair and stuff really good. You can see exactly how much better these actually look. If you guys have seen my videos of what I look like besides this video, you guys know exactly, how much better these personas are actually looking. The hands and the gestures and stuff look even better than they did before, which is really cool. And today I wanted to talk about all the great features that are in Vision 2.0, and I wanted to walk through them with you guys and show them to you guys so you guys know, what to look forward to in the future. The first one, obviously, you're seeing right here in the introduction that we just got through, which is updates to Persona to make it look even better than it did before. So we have a lot to talk about in this video from all the different features. When I first saw Vision 2.0 announced on stage, I was actually a little bit disappointed because I thought it wasn't going to be good enough. It didn't seem like there was a lot to it. A lot of the features that I wanted weren't there. But as people got their hands on it when the beta released, we discovered that Apple left out a lot of stuff from that presentation that actually make a big deal on the Vision 2.0. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so the first feature I wanted to talk about here, and it's crazy you guys are seeing me in multiple different ways right now because we're obviously in mixed reality, but the first thing I wanted to show you guys is now when you go to YouTube or Netflix or something like that, you can actually play these videos, and I'm going to unfortunately mute the sound because I don't want to get copyright. But basically what happens is, we gotta unfortunately let this ad play right now, but basically, once you actually make these videos full screen, you can see you'll actually be able to take a look at them in the environment that you're in. So you can see if I put myself in this environment and I go full screen here, and I make this video full screen, and you can see the video is now playing here right in front of me, which is super cool. You can go ahead and you can see that it actually does cast a shadow. You can see it here on the floor, just like those other videos do. So now you could watch YouTube and YouTube videos and Netflix and whatever other, basically any video on the internet through the Safari browser will let you basically do auto dimming and all that kinds of stuff right here in any of these 3D environments and kind of have, the Apple full screen video while you're playing, as opposed to the way it was before with this immersive, video format now, casting shadows and stuff like that on your environment and, being fully ready to play, which is super cool. And this, of course, will help people who are watching things on Netflix and stuff because there's no official Netflix app or YouTube. There are third-party apps that, work well on here already for YouTube and Netflix, but if you just want to use the Safari browser, now you can kind of do that with Netflix and YouTube and just watch your content here ready to go. One of the other things that's awesome as well, when we're in here on the home menu, if I go ahead and snap out of the environment and I go back into my room, usually when you wanted to bring up the menu before, you would have to hit the digital crown button, which I always thought was super annoying, that every time I exited an app or something, I would need to go ahead and bring that back up. Well, now you could just put your hand out like this. You can see that little button that pops up, hit your fingers together, boom, it pops up, and now you're looking at your apps again. And same exact idea, if you go like this again and you point it down, you can see the time, and then you can also bring up your control center really quickly as well, which is really nice. So again, pull this up, you have it right here, pull this down, and then you can go ahead and see that you have, your time and stuff like that, which is super cool. This is much easier to open this up than it is to do it any other way. So these new gestures are awesome. And another gesture that I almost forgot about is if you open this up and go down again, you can actually hold your fingers together to adjust the volume of anything you're listening to as well, which is a super quick and easy way to adjust volume on anything you're listening to. The next thing we got to talk about here is a new Bora environment that is finally in Vision 2.0. So again, if I go ahead and bring this up and I go ahead and go into environments, you can see we finally have the new Bora environment. Man, we've all been waiting for so long for that. Super happy to finally, have that here and stuff like that, which is awesome. But if you go over here and you see Bora, a lot of people were having issues downloading that because it wasn't showing up for them. If that's you and you're on the 2.0 beta, go ahead and highlight any of the other icons that you want, hold your finger down on them, and then hit the little minus sign to actually delete it. That will delete it, re-download Mount Hood again, for example, and then Bora should show right up. It's a weird thing, so if Bora is not showing up for you and it still says coming soon, delete one of your other environments, re-download it, and then Bora will pop up. But go ahead and open up Bora here to show you guys. And let me tell you guys, it was definitely worth the wait. This looks fantastic. It looks so good. It definitely makes me feel like I'm at the beach. Just sand really does look like sand on here. You can see the waters, and obviously you hear the waves crashing and stuff like that in the background, which is really nice. You can see the trees are moving in the background and stuff like that. Super high resolution, as these environments usually are. And of course, we can go ahead and open Control Center again, and we can go into the environment because I have it on automatic, and then boom, look at this, guys. We are now in the dark version of it, where the sun is casting on the water and stuff like that. This is my favorite environment to watch things at. I mean, look at this, all behind us and stuff like that. It looks awesome. The dark environment is my favorite way to view this environment, and this is the way I like to watch movies and stuff. And because it's not super pitch dark, so even though this is dark, because of the other environments that sometimes are completely pitch dark, you don't get a lot of those nasty reflections that you get when you're watching different content and stuff, at least not as you know, as prominent. So this is my favorite environment to kind of watch content in, because of that. Just how awesome it looks, and just being on the beach. I mean, who doesn't want to watch a show on the beach? One of the other things we got to talk about here as well is the fact that you can now have, with the tracking, the hand tracking that a lot of people always used to talk about. I've showed games like Fruit Ninja on this channel and stuff, and they never worked as well as I wanted them to. So I never actually played a lot of them because of that. We're going to start up Super Fruit Ninja right now so you guys can get an idea, and I will start up and play it for you guys. But basically, with the Super Fruit Ninja now, you can actually, the hand tracking has gotten a lot better because now it actually updates to the native resolution, refresh rate of the display. So we're not 100% sure if it's doing 90 hertz natively, or if it's doing 45 and then kind of, you know, pushing it up to 90. But regardless, the hand tracking is a lot more responsive than it used to be, and it makes games like Fruit Ninja a lot better to play. Let me go ahead and stand up a little bit here. Now, I don't know if you guys remember how this game used to play, but like I said, it is much better than it used to be. And the app wasn't updated or anything. This is just a lot better. Look at that. I mean, when I swipe, it actually swipes, and I don't have to worry about like speed or anything like that. Everything just kind of works. And it makes playing this game a lot more playable. This is going to take hand tracking games to a lot better of a spot, which is awesome. Really super cool. So it's definitely going to make hand tracking a lot better. And I'm super excited for, you know, hand tracking games that are a little bit more in the arcade realm, like Super Fruit Ninja, that need that precise hand tracking, that will now be able to, you know, do that on here, which is awesome. They don't even have to update it. I'm sure it will be even better when they update their apps to optimize for that new higher refresh rate that they're, you know, updating the hand tracking now from what it used to be, which was 30, to now being, like I said, we don't know if it's 90 natively or 45 being upscaled, whatever the case may be. But it's definitely a lot better, and everyone's saying that online, and it's already working with a lot of the native games. So things like Fruit Ninja and Synth Riders are a lot more fun to play than they used to be. And that's something that Apple didn't tout on their stage, but it makes a big difference for a lot of hand track games. So super excited to see that being added, something that a lot of us wanted since day one and didn't think we were going to get on Vision 2.0. So another thing that they added on here is, we know that like Apple TV Plus has always had that cinematic mode, the theater mode that a lot of people love, but it was always reserved to just being in Apple TV Plus. You couldn't use it in any other app. So that has actually changed now. So if I were to open this up here, and let's just say I scroll out and just play any of these for the time being, just to show you guys, let's just say I hit on this. Now obviously you guys are not going to see the content on screen because it's going to copyright it while we're recording, which is fine, but you can see now on the environment that it actually lets you watch it in an Apple TV environment like Bora, and boom, we're in here and we're watching Disney Plus. Again, it's a black screen because that's the nature of, you know, copyright. They're not letting you see
looking
it.
At this terrible
but the idea is that now you can watch your content in Apple environments, and you don't always have to rely on the environments that these third-party makers make, whether it be Disney Plus or HBO or whatever the case may be. So that's an awesome addition, that you can now use Apple environments in other applications that do video, which is super awesome. Even though Disney Plus made amazing environments, but being able to use them on other apps like HBO and stuff is awesome. Speaking of something else that I could do that we forgot, let me go ahead and just start this back up again. And just hit pause, because we don't need to play the video. And we'll put this in Bora that we're in right now. What you could do as well that you couldn't do before is you can actually move this up and just have it auto rotate. So if you look up and just hit the crown button, boom, you could see it flashed and it put it right above me. That was not something possible before. You used to have to drag it and put it up yourself in the perfect spot, and it was kind of moved around a little bit. So this is much easier. You could just reposition it to be in a perfect view if you're like laying down or stuff like that and you want to look up. Now it just kind of, you could just hold the button down while looking up and the screen will reposition itself for you. So nice little addition there as well. Another big thing here as well, if I go back into my mixed reality environment, and this is not something I'm going to be able to show you specifically, but you're going to have to take my word for it. But basically, if you guys remember, there's applications on here like this glance bar, for example, that gives you a bunch of different birthdays and stuff like that you may want to know, whether or whatever the case may be. That you have. Let's say I put this widget over here, and let's say I open up another widget and I want to put it around my house, and let's say that the other widget I have is this posters one that shows like different movie posters and stuff, and I want to resize this and make it bigger, whatever the case may be. And let's say I want to put this right here against my wall. You know, you know what I mean, putting a bunch of different applications in different areas of your house, where if you walk around, obviously right now, if I leave the room, you guys will see it will stay in there, and it will be in the exact same position that I left it. What would happen is a lot of people would set up their whole entire house, and then this wouldn't actually appear anymore, because after they reboot, if your headset would die or reboot, this would be completely gone. You would have to set up your whole entire house or your room or whatever the case may be all over again. Well, it now stays persistent. If you reboot, these widgets will open up exactly where they left off, which is fantastic for people who create environments like this. Now, it's not the full feature that I want, which is like what your iPhone does with focus mode and stuff, where they can do different focus modes that you come in and you're like, hey, I want to turn focus mode on for, you know, my office, and then it puts all the widgets in my office that I usually use, and then I go into the living room and it's like, hey, now I want the entertainment focus, and boom, it opens up like whatever application I want. That's kind of like the goal of what this stuff is, but this is basically step one. Now the fact that these widgets can actually stay persistent, it makes decorating your house, you know, a lot more fun, because who wants to, you know, decorate their whole entire room and then after this thing powers off, it's kind of gone. So this is much better to be able to do it that way. And yeah, this is awesome and a nice little addition that, again, they didn't talk about at all during their presentation. Another thing that they added, and I'm not going to open mine up so you guys don't see all my passwords and stuff, but they do have a new application on here, so you can see the password app is right there, and you can open it up, and yeah, the password app will be right there, and it has all your passwords for every different application. Same thing that they added on the iPhone, iOS 18 and stuff. The password app is also on the Vision Pro, so you can fill in your passwords and stuff like that, which is great. One of the other things that they added, which is a huge deal, is that you can actually move icons around to wherever you want. So if I hold an icon down, you can see, and this is just really satisfying. I don't know how to explain it, but the way that these icons move around and stuff like that in the 3D environment, and just how smooth that effect looks, just makes it really addicting to do this. I know it sounds kind of dumb. And then you could just lean over and look to the right if you want to move it to a different page. Super simple, super easy to actually do. You can also take apps out of here from the compatible apps folder. You can add to home view. So for example, if I wanted this one out on my home view and I go like that, that app is out of the compatibilities view, even if you want it to be there, and it will get added to your home view here, and then you can again move it around wherever you want at that point. So even though it's just a compatible app, you can move it wherever you want it to go at that point, organize these apps any way you want. So great to see this added, so it's not just in alphabetical order all the time. You can do your own customization. You know, that's something that we wanted and would have expected day one, but here we are, and we got it now in Vision 2.0. A couple of other things that they added that is impossible for me to show you specifically on here right now is travel mode. Travel mode is something that they had here before, but now you can actually do it for train mode as well. So just know that if you have travel mode on, you can now use it in the train as well, just like you could in your car. So now we'll know you're on a train, and you know your windows won't be going all over the place. So another cool addition to travel mode is that it now works on trains. Same thing with this as well, is that hand tracking works a lot better in the dark. So if I go ahead and turn this room into complete darkness right now, by turning all of my lights off, as you can see here, I am in darkness in this room, and hand tracking still works well. It still brings us up. I can still manipulate stuff. Now, obviously, I'm not completely dark because I have this right here, but you got the point that even in dark areas, hand tracking works a lot more smoother. It seems to be able to handle, you know, darker environments and stuff like that, and still have your hands out. Even if you're in an environment like this, you know, it still works really well. And it definitely got a big improvement to what it used to be like. One of the other big new features on here, let's go ahead and remove these out of here, that we got to talk about is the Photos application. This was a huge deal when it got announced because they did make a big deal about this on stage. However, what I didn't know is how good it would actually be. So if I were to look at a picture, first of all, I got a little bit of a navigation change here, so it got a little bit of an update when it comes to that. But what is really cool is that now when you take pictures, you can actually really easily... So I'm going to turn this off for you guys. So this is the regular image right here. This is the one I took on my iPhone. This was, you know, this is a picture that I took and stuff like that at a restaurant I was at. You can see that there's a new button up there on the top left. It says spatial. If I click on that, it will take a few seconds and boom, now it has a 3D render of your exact image that you have on here, which is just fantastic. I mean, this thing is super impressive. I don't know what kind of magic they're doing on here, but this will work for any of the pictures that you've ever taken, which is super awesome, as you guys are looking at here. And it makes every 3D image pop, and it's just super impressive that you could do this with every image. And how good the quality actually is really surprising to a lot of people, because it does a really good job of adding depth into those images. One of the other things that they added as well is that objects are now aware, the 3D objects that you bring into, you know, VR and stuff like that, like the AR object that's in here for the Vision Pro. If you guys take a listen, and I move this around. Now, pay attention for the click. You guys hear that click? It's really subtle. But that's telling you that it knows that there's a table there and you can place the object down. So before, it wouldn't detect that there was a table there or anything like that. But now, it is perfectly level with the table because it sees that there's a table there, so it knows. So when you're looking at objects like this, it just makes it that much more, you know, impressive and stuff like that, because if I'm looking at my desk right now, I think there's a Vision Pro sitting on top of it because it's perfectly level to where it is. And you can do this with any of the objects and stuff like that that you guys would expect, like the AR objects that you can bring in here, like the Things application and the Things website and stuff. And when you put objects on here, and now it actually detects tables and chairs and stuff like that, which is super awesome to be able to place these objects everywhere and actually know exactly what's, you know, the 3D mapping that it's actually taking into effect, which is super cool. Now, some of the things that are not in the beta yet that I just wanted to bring up real quick is that on the Apple TV Plus, with these immersive videos, they are going to be doing more immersive videos. They talked about doing more prehistoric and adventure ones. They talked about a new one with The Weeknd and stuff like that. They have a new concert series one that looks like is coming. They have a Red Bull series one coming, so they didn't show anything about what they may look like, but I'm super excited. I love immersive videos, and it's one of the standout features on the Vision Pro for sure, and I'm excited to see more and more of those videos coming to fruition here on the Vision Pro. And the other thing that they talked about as well is that we're going to be able to do multi-video. So when it comes to having multiple windows open with different sports and stuff, you're going to be able to use Apple TV Plus and any of the sports that they support and have like, hey, let's have the Mets right here. Let's have NBA games right here. Some of the apps have already done that, like the NBA app already does it. But the key thing here is that since it's going to be integrated into Apple TV Plus, you can have the Mets game sitting here and the basketball game sitting here, because right now it's app dependent. So you can open up the NBA game and have 5 different NBA games at the same time. But if Apple incorporates it into Apple TV Plus, you can have 5 different sports that don't have anything to do with apps and have them all surrounding you. So it's going to be taking, you know, the future into, you know, what manipulating windows and watching videos like that, making it that much easier. One of the other things as well with this Mac here that I will show you here in a second. When we go ahead and connect, as it just appeared, if I go ahead and connect and I go into my virtual environment again, and I'm going to dial it, you can see it's dialed all the way in. If I look down here in a second, you will see that I can now see my keyboard. And that is awesome, because it never used to do that before. It used to have to dial this like halfway out and not be fully immersed. But you can see I'm fully immersed into my environment, but I could still have this screen here ready to go, which is super awesome, and still have my keyboard here in front of me and be able to use it and use the mouse and stuff and the trackpad and still be able to see it. And you're going to be able to do this with the regular keyboard as well, which is awesome if you have like the Magic Keyboard and stuff. But the fact that I can see this and have it passing through the keyboard makes me using the Mac much easier, because before I couldn't see the keyboard, so it was really annoying. I would either have to dial back the environment halfway out, which is not, you know, what I want to do, or I would have to know exactly where the keys are. So this is a great feature addition that keyboards are now passing through your environment as you're using them. And of course, like I talked about before, you're going to be able to see a immersive environment that's going to wrap around you. It's going to be like having two 4K screens in front of you instead of just one of these. It's going to be like a panoramic view of your Mac, and I can't wait for that. Unfortunately, that's not in the beta yet, but I can't wait for that to be added as well. It's going to be like a gigantic ultra wide, which is going to be super cool. They also announced new APIs, of course, and the one that's catching my eye is the tabletop one, because you guys know I love my board games and stuff, and the fact that we have Demio on here and Game Room and stuff, I can't wait to see what people do with the new API. That's going to be able to anchor things like I talked about right now with this Vision Pro. It's going to be able to anchor the board games specifically on a table or the floor and stuff like that, which is going to really elevate those games, and it's going to make porting board games over even better. So I hope to see a lot more board games coming over, because I love board games on the Apple Vision Pro, as Game Room has shown me. Alright guys, so that is everything I wanted to show you here on the Apple Vision Pro when it comes to OS Beta 2.0. Like I said, if things happen, that some things get added or big changes happen, I will definitely make a future video on this. But I'm excited for all the different videos that were on here already, or sorry, all the different features that were on here already. A lot more than a lot of us expected when I first heard about Vision 2.0. When I was watching the conference at WWDC, I didn't think it was going to be as good. Because it didn't seem like they had a lot, but then a lot of us started discovering features as time went on when people installed the beta, that they added a lot of different things that actually people wanted, that they didn't talk about, which is awesome to see, and I can't wait to see what people discover next. So, thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have any questions, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.